I'm Malcolm Van Delst, and this is an excerpt from How Low Can You Go, Book 5 in the Do the Wrong Thing series. Last week in How Low Can You Go, Ava passed out at a Halloween party, quit drinking again, and broke up with Greg, who'd been living in her basement. This chapter is called Private Violence. I run to the university darkroom, unsure if my key will work at 3 a.m. It does, thank God. I develop photos I've taken at Nerd and Amoeba, headshots mainly, all men. Some, like Aaron, are handsome. I like that I'm a woman photographing handsome men, or just men, that I'm not the one being photographed. I like using my hands. My hands are my only friends. They take photographs, they mix chemicals, they shake film, they dip in dry paper. At some point, I hear music. The dark room is constructed as two adjoined rooms. If there was a door in the opening between the two, they'd be separated, but there isn't. I stick my head around the corner and see another girl working, skipping, and singing along to the Ramones. I wish I was her. I develop and redevelop pictures of men over and over again. Never perfect. I can't reach the exact contrast and definition I want. Maybe it's not on the film and I'm trying to do something that isn't possible, but I don't give up. Aaron, wearing a cowboy hat and smoking a cigarette, looking like the Marlboro Man. I want his picture to be as perfect as his chiseled cheekbones and soft brown eyes, but I can't get it right. Ava, they all look the same. You'd say if you saw the prints lined up beside each other. I might agree with you, but I might not. I see something. I know I see something. I stay until students start filtering in after their morning classes. I stay until the terror and panic have subsided, until I've driven them out with work, even if it's not the kind of which my parents approve. Your prompt for this exercise is make the public private, or vice versa. I'm sitting on a table in the classroom beside Four-Way. He's below me, sitting in a chair. I lean over, whisper, "My private spaces are already public, so this should be easy for me." He side-eyes me with a little smile and continues instructing the class on the kinds of things we might want to do. He's talking about architecture, not bodies. I compose my giddy self, realize how inappropriate I've been. I'm not the extra talented student who has a special relationship with their teacher, but a half-crazed one who people keep at a distance. I'll make good on my offhand secret, though. Plan a series of close-ups, penises and vaginas. I'll show the world that genitalia isn't anything to get excited about, that we all have it, and that it's no different than an elbow or a foot, that it doesn't need to be private. Use high-grain paper, Faraway advises. He tells me about the trove of pictures he has that won't be released until 50 years after his death. They contain politicians, celebrities, and other powerful people in compromising positions. He smirks, that gleam in his eyes again. No one will pose. Disappointed and surprised, I'd expected that Nerd and Amoeba people felt the same about glossy pics of naked women and videos starring big-titted ladies with dyed hair and a ton of makeup as I did. That if we treated sex as something blasé, like it is, even if it feels amazing, the stigma around looking or watching it would disappear and we'd all be freer. I start with myself, hoping people will change their minds later. At home in my living room, I tilt a tall mirror against a wall, sitting on the floor, legs spread. As close as I can get to the looking glass, I aim the camera at my privates. Huh. I enjoy, here's a concept. I enjoy looking at my vulva, but do I really? I'm interested. I pull at and open my labia with my fingers. I find a freckle on my left inner butt cheek that I didn't know was there. Wouldn't know if I hadn't set up this investigation station. What is enjoyment? I enjoy booze. I enjoy the roller coaster feeling you get in a car when you drive over deep dips in a road, but do I enjoy roller coasters? Yeah, I do, but I also fear them. I enjoy fear. I like chocolate. Nothing negative there, but I'm weight conscious, so I rarely eat it. I like being slim. I like approval from other people more than I like chocolate. Tonight, I enjoy poking around my vulva and learning, but the fun is wrapped in losing approval from other people, a thing I enjoy very, very much. What if the approval is too expensive? What if I lose friends because of these pictures? What if I have to hurt myself to get enjoyment? What if I have to choose? You can have this, but only if you renounce all the others. What if what I enjoy demands that I go insane? If you want my approval, you must kill yourself. I'm not allowed to think about sex, let alone talk about it, according to my parents. They don't say that. They merely change the conversation, disallow anything that even alludes to the act. What is enjoyment? I like taking these photos, but it's wrapped in a fear that makes it hurt. I have to break through a hard outer coating of fear to get to the good stuff. This is what I do again and again across days and weeks, and frankly, I think I have to keep doing this forever. Face it and break it, face it and break it, face it, break it. Every time I break fear, I feel strong, but it's exhausting. At this party, it's a less arty, fashiony crowd, younger than my late 20s, but not by much. Well worn dirty jeans and dingy sweaters, some docks, not a lot. Some leather jackets, but less covered with band patches and paintings. No one stands out except a tall, cleaner looking albino guy in a newish leather jacket. The house is two-story, white sidinged, plain, no shrubs or plants around it, but not as run down looking as the houses Greg lives in. It's vaguely familiar. Ah, Steph used to live here, in the bedroom upstairs at the front of the house. She's never at these parties. She must have moved out. It's near the bus station where Damien lives, but Damien doesn't come. His friends, in particular his brother, are similarly unemployed and, yes, addicted, but Damien's not interested. He doesn't like Greg. No one likes Greg. I've got a couple photographs of my crotch with me, test photos, smaller than they will be when the project is finished. I show them to people, trying to get more models. Guys are willing to drop their pants in the kitchen, but not make a date to let me photograph them close up and professionally. Professionally. The albino guy asks if he can have a photo. Do you want me to sign it? I laugh. Sure. I find a red pen, write Love Ava, and draw a heart as if I were an actress, well, porn star. In the kitchen, I take a close up of a younger kid's face. He's on acid, he says. Later, I blow it up super large, like my crotch shots. It looks great and goes into the package I'll put together to apply at Concord College of Art and Prudence, Howard, and Westwood. Acid. I've never done it in such cold, dirty chaos. But when Greg gives me a hit, I think, why not? Soon I feel sick, so I go lie down upstairs. Tripping on a grimy futon in an anonymous room, I stare at a pile of dog shit in the doorway. Greg comes up. He wants attention, but I can't give it to him. He touches me, talks to me. I swat him away. Finally, he leaves and I fall asleep. When I wake, feeling physically better, but emotionally wishing I could disappear, I step over the dog shit and head downstairs. Music blares from a boombox on a table, but the house is weirdly empty. I see Greg rummaging for butts in the ashtrays to roll into a smoke, but someone's beat him to it. Not a speck of tobacco or alcohol, I'll find upon entering the kitchen, left in the place. I hear shouting and screaming, but it sounds like it's outside, or stomp, 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 louder screaming and unhinged laughter as punks run up from the basement, falling and clutching each other. I retreat to the living room, turning around just as Derek, Greg's roommate, passes. He looks genuinely happy, open, joyous, like he's been reunited with a long-lost parent. Blood streams from his nose and stains his sweater. I'd heard about Derek before I met him. Ultra-violent, bad temper, bad drunk, avoid at all costs. Yet the first time I met him at Greg's in his new place, he spoke quietly, politely, and with wit. A small, pale man with a preppy haircut and an argyle sweater over a shirt buttoned up to his neck. This was the football hooligan who'd been kicked out of Britain. He was drinking Pepto-Bismol for breakfast. I find a place against a wall near the front door with Greg and the drummer from a local band. I've never spoken to this drummer guy before, but right now he looks at me as if we're old friends. Baby-faced and blonde-eyed handsome. I know him from Mercy Street, where he'd sit, silent with his bandmates, looking shy and sad, and my heart would melt. He was better than me, though, because of the band and the amounts of beer they would consume. Greg, this drummer guy, and I watch the brawl. Derek isn't the only one smiling. Girls with bad skin and a lot of eye makeup grab each other's hair, laughing. Boys slug each other. JBH shouts rapid-fire bullets of sound into the air. There's a knock at the door. Weird. Someone answers, and a vicious-looking guy I've never seen before starts yelling at the person who answered. The guy slams the door and screams, "The Nazis are coming!" The dude who knocked is a skinhead. He's gone to get his skinhead friends. As people grab pieces of wood and anything else they can to use as weapons, I get my coat and boots on. So does Greg. I bike home, alone in the cold, clear night. The moon is full. The snow crunches under my wheels.